വരെ വല്ല സംശയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിച്ചോളൂ. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ we will begin from the. So first of all, what we will be doing is present. Your entire screen share. Okay. So once we get an experimental data, so that would be similar to this. So what we do first is we generate the data. We have already seen that once we collect all the Novo control files and run a program split.4, we will get data corresponding to each temperature, just like this. It will be having a real part and imaginary part versus frequency. For example, first column would be frequency, second would be real and imaginary part. Then it must be a customary thing that we should have an idea how every parameters are changing with respect to temperature. So for doing that, we should plot everything like for example, we simply have to change the program Novo control, not Novo control. Someone is coming to the program. Okay. So we have to do like formatted split.4. So we have to see whether the pattern is similar to this frequency, temperature, epsilon prime, epsilon double prime, CP1, CP2, Z1, Z2, real temperature. The first is the set temperature. For example, we set 100 degrees or 50 degrees. This real temperature would be 50.1 or 50.05, whatever would be. And the Novo control will make sure that if set temperature must be within the limit it had already set. So what we set generally is that the set temperature, the measured temperature should not deviate more than 0.1 degree. So if it is, for example, if I set 80 degrees, if it is 80.2 degrees, it will not record the measurement. And time would be, so if we start a measurement, it will start from 1 second, 2 seconds, like that. So if it is 24 hours, you can see that time parameter will be telling how long the experiment has been running. That is the importance of. And we know that sometimes the pattern would be different. So you have to look into the program and see if the pattern is different, like if T1 instead of EP1, you may have Z1, Z2. So if you collected data from someone else, they are having a different sequence of data. And in some occasions, it will even happen that instead of this file, there would be log file would be there. So I had already said all these things. Now, after doing this, you should have an idea how the parameters are changing with respect to temperature. Like what is the temperature of what is the impedance of minus 15. Now you can see that at 10 raised to 6, it is 18 ohm. And as you go to 10 raised to minus 2, it is 10 raised to giga ohm. So the variation is almost exponentially increasing, or every decade it is increasing twofold, 2-3 orders of magnitude. That is the one thing you will be having an idea once you plot all this, how the conductivity is changing with respect to. From this value, you can understand whether the sample is semiconducting, conducting, or insulator, etc. Now, once you fit all this, you will see that you will get all the parameters. This we have already discussed. So once you fit the data one by one, now you will get a set of files similar to this. What I understand from this is that M028 is temperature is minus 28, and these are the parameters. This is delta epsilon 1, delta epsilon 2, and all the other parameters are followed. Now, if you want to get an idea, sometimes the second line is coming. So what you have to do is you have to go to the font and reduce the font. It is 10 now here. Now you reduce it to 8. So you can see that reducing 8 will be all the parameters are very difficult to visualize. But you can see this. But one thing you can see that now here we have using only one parameter, that delta epsilon 1, delta epsilon 2, we fixed it to be 0. So we are dealing with only one process, and all the other things. When it is 0 means it is fixed, and when it is 1 means it is free. So after getting all these things, next thing we have to see is that every time when you do a fitting, I had already instructed to you is that you have to take a long paper to accommodate almost 15 parameters, and you should have a flavor of how each parameters are changing. And the second thing, each parameters, make sure that each parameters are not going beyond the limit. For example, alpha is defined between 0 and less than 1. So if it is going more than 1, that means it is not acceptable for us to present. So in that case, after doing all this exercise, you go to this program, plots. So I am going to this plots. Now open this program, then make sure that it is properly, address has been properly given. Then after that, what does this program do is that it will go to all individual folders. So now you can see that it is, I am looking whether the path is properly defined. Desktop, OTT, result. Okay. Okay. Path 1 is properly defined here. And path 2, this is the input location and this is output location. and within the input location you have another file called input. Now let us go to input, that is within a result. So I am going to that location. Now here it is program. Go to the result. There is an input file. Input file, you can see the format font. I am increasing the font to 10. You can see that 24 minus 38. Then after that, there are minus M140 and minus 140. This means M is the name of the file and this is the temperature in degrees. As we all know that M minus 140 is nothing but the file corresponding to minus 140. And there are certain occasions, if the dynamics is so fast, then we wanted to acquire even two temperatures within 1 degree. In that case, what we will do is we put A or B or something, and we put minus 140.25 or 0.5, etc. Now you can see that as you go down, here there are 50, line number is 50, and naturally 50 by 2 is 25, but 2 points are referring something else. So there are 24 files. 24 files are there, and that has been written in the first line, 24. And minus 32 is the approximate TG we are giving. Now we will go to that program. We are going to that program and see what is happening inside by opening the file. Open plots. Plots is not opening. PWD, AR, CD, CD program, where the all MATLAB programs are there only. File, open, yeah. Now plots. Now you can see that TG has been defined here. TG defined somewhere here. Now N data, first of all, it is reading N data from the file, and T calculate means it is again reading T cal from here, and T cal it is making T cal to be T cal plus 273.15. That means T cal has been made in Kelvin. Now T cal 1 is the reciprocal of the absolute temperature. Now let us just run this program and let us see what is happening. So before that, I know what is happening by executing this program. So what I am doing is plots. There is a folder called plots. I am clearing all the data inside, and now running this program by run command. What is happening? Okay, computer is slow in responding. Now what is happening is that there are a lot of windows are getting popped up. Almost 6 files. You can see that figure number 6, figure number 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Now figure 1 is nothing but the parameter alpha. Parameter alpha, you can see that there are two symbols. One is with something like star or whatever you can call, I don't know. I call this a star. And the other one is an open circle. And star, it is showing that alpha. That means it is alpha process. Now you can see that alpha process is almost less than 1, and it is going up at temperature around the glass transition temperature, because beyond that we don't have this value. There we have only given the secondary process. Now secondary process, it is going up to 0.9. 0.9 is very, very flat, and it is somewhere 0.8 is approximately the most points are at 0.8, and even it is coming down, and the trend is almost all right because it is not going beyond the 1, and it doesn't go below 0. That is what I could see from here. So the parameter within our definition, it is all right. Now go to the beta curve. Beta curve, again, this is the secondary process. Secondary process, we always set beta to be 1. So that is why, but there is no caption, figure captions are not there. And not figure caption, what does say, I don't know, I don't remember. And the other one, alpha process, beta value is almost 0.5, and it is coming up, lower temperature. Still it is okay. Now this is the Arrhenius diagram. Arrhenius diagram is all right. Now I will tell you what you have done in the input file. Now you can see that input file here minus 38 is there. Now let us go to an Excel file and see minus 38. What does that number represent? Minus 38. So what I am doing is minus 38 plus 273.15. Now this is Kelvin. Now this is equal to 1000 divided by this one. So this is 4.25, approximately 4.25. Now go to the third figure, that is Arrhenius diagram. So 4.25, you can see that 4.25, 4.25. It is something related with this. I'll tell you after some time. It is something around we are trying to fit the beta process with a line, but it is not taking this point. Now I am changing it to something else. Now I go to this program, and TG is 225. TG is 225. Let us see what is the TG actually. So TG is 225 means 225 degrees, or just a second, 225, whether it is TG is 225. 225 means it would be Kelvin. 225. Okay, 225. 225. Control C, Control V. 4.444. 4.4. That means somewhere here. Now, instead of that, what I am doing is I am changing that value to somewhere 210. What will happen? Save and run this program. Nothing has happened. Whatever we got previously, that has been repeated. Now I am changing this. So minus 38, I will put minus 45. File, save. Now go to this, run. Nothing has happened so far. Okay, doesn't matter. So this Arrhenius diagram, it is evaluating, it is fitting the secondary process as well to a straight line. Nothing but it is, you have to remember the temperature is reciprocal of 1000 by T and that is log Fm. In that window, we are fitting it to a straight line, and this had to be fitted to VFT. That is not doing, that we have to do separately. Now alpha, beta, now figure 2. Now let us go to figure 3, figure 4. Figure 4 is delta epsilon. Now delta epsilon is, you can see that here it is slowly increasing, then it is showing a decrease. But generally it should increase. But unfortunately here we have uncertainty. That is why whether we do not know why it is decreasing. So this is a trick that we have to systematically understand from fitting with the Mathematica program that we will learn later. Now this delta epsilon is reducing, and if you plot it in 1000 by T delta epsilon, you will see that it will increase. It will increase means 1000 by T is temperature is decreasing along x-axis. In that case, it will be you can fit it to an approximate straight line. Now the last diagram is delta epsilon total. This is the total delta epsilon value, something like this. So this you have to do after analyzing this, and most important parameter dealing with the dynamics is the Arrhenius diagram. And Arrhenius diagram, here it would be a straight line or an Arrhenius behavior, and this is non-Arrhenius behavior because it is a VFT behavior. So the dynamics, you can see that as temperature decreases, temperature is decreasing along this axis. As temperature decreases, frequency and reciprocal of the frequency is the relaxation time. Relaxation time representing, for example, you have a silent sea of water. All on a sudden you perturb it by dropping a stone. Now relaxation time is referring how much time you need the system to come back to the equilibrium. Equilibrium in the sense that the system is a dynamic system, it is not static. But if you take the average all the process, you can see that it is, that state would be representing an equilibrium state. For example, there would be one particle would be moving, going to this direction, other would be going to this direction. If you take all the average at different times, you will see that all ensembles will be repeated if you repeat the measurement again. Now, as you reduce the temperature, you can see that frequency is reducing or relaxation time is increasing. Now, as you go and reach to a particular temperature, you can see that here the slope is negative, and at a particular temperature, slope would be perpendicular to the x-axis. At that time, you can see that within a very small temperature even, the relaxation time is going to infinity. That temperature is, you will say that at that temperature, the system is almost locked in a state where it can't come back. So its relaxation time is almost infinite. Now, on the other hand, if you go towards this direction, it will go to the trend is it is going up and up, but generally it will go and settle somewhere around 10 raised to 13. Why we are calling it as 10 raised to 13 is that 10 raised to 13 is very high temperature liquid where the rotation and vibration are almost same, having the same frequency. That means rotation is something like similar to vibration at that time. So at that time, you can see that how do you say that it is 10 raised to 13? So we have a measurement. People could do that with very high frequency network analyzers, and they have found that it is almost 10 raised to 13. And that is why whenever you can see that if you have, we don't have any data here, and it can go up to 10 raised to 19 or 10 raised to 30 even, if you say something simply by seeing this alpha process. But we have to understand that eventually the system on raising the temperature, it should match with the liquid behavior. That is why whenever we don't have any data, still what we do is we put a upper limit of high temperature to be 10 raised to 13 or 10 raised to 14 or 10 raised to 12 in some cases. Now, again, this process would also, you can see that both will reach to this point. This would also go to something around 10 raised to 13. Now, if you don't have anything here, you have only one point, still you can approximately calculate the approximate activation energy, like it is somewhere around 10 raised to 13 and this, and you can draw a straight line from here to here. This is how we do this Arrhenius diagram. Now, when you plot this, sometimes it happens that if delta epsilon infinity, this parameter I didn't say that. You can see that at very low temperature, epsilon infinity is almost defined 2.88. Now, as the temperature increases, what will happen? Temperature increases, the density inside the capacitor would decrease. So naturally, the number of dipoles rotating inside the capacitor would be coming down. So because of that, it should come down. But what will happen is that you will get something like this. So whenever you see this, you have to bring all this somewhere here. I'll tell you the reason. If you take the spectra, let us see what is the spectra here. Nothing. Okay, nothing is coming up. So I'll go and spectra all EP1, EP1. Now you can see that as I plot this, now you can see that this is the lower temperature. Now you can see that what is this temperature? It is something around the -50. -50, you can see that epsilon 0 is not defined. Epsilon 0 is not defined, but epsilon infinity is very much defined. But if you go to this temperature somewhere here, very high temperature side, what will happen is the epsilon infinity is not defined. So during this situation, what the computer doesn't know what are your physics behind the system. So if we have high frequency, then naturally it should come and settle at epsilon infinity. But since we don't have data, it will randomly go to some value similar to this. So in this situation, what you have to do is you have to bring all these points here and fix it, because fixing is the only way to make the fitting more meaningful. Otherwise, you will get some junk value. So first thing you have to do is you have to fix the epsilon infinity parameter. So let us say if it had to settle here, but if it is settling here, then naturally this slope and this slope would be different. So this slope and this slope is different, means your alpha and beta would be different. So in this situation, what we have to do is we can't do it in the first time. So after plotting all this, you can fit it somewhere around these values. So you approximately put a straight line here and bring all the points here and redo the fitting once again by putting epsilon infinity. Now second thing you have to do is, you can see that some odd points would always be here and there. So as the temperature increases, frequency maximum should increase. So if it is coming down, then you have to lift it up. When you are lifting manually, initially you fix this to the trend. Then you fit the spectra, then all the other parameters will be coming to a natural, meaningful minima or a meaningful region. Once it has come back to a meaningful region, then if you can try that whether the FM is also coming back by releasing the fixing. If you find that again, if the frequency is not coming back, you fix it. Anyway, we don't calculate the activation energy by accommodating these points. So what we have to do is we have to ensure that all the data evaluation is taking into account of only points which are on straight line. So for example, if you put this, now the error in evaluation of the activation energy would also be having more error. So this is the way you have to do. You can see that this is how all the points are going along. Even you can do this as well, but don't take these points. Now, when you are reporting also, you can see that frequency maximum is 8. Don't show this because we have our experimental limit is 10 raised to 7. So don't do data beyond 10 raised to 7. So if you are showing that, you have to put a very large error. Anyway, if you show something here, people will not be believing. And this can be found by seeing the errors also. For example, we have a folder called result. In result, this is delta epsilon 1 and this is its error, second line. Third one is minus or plus, whatever would be there. What was this? Initially you are giving a guess value. How different it is, that is what this parameter is telling us. Sometimes here you can see that this is positive, negative, depending upon where you are initially giving the guess value. So this had to be done next. So am I sharing my window?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, no.
ഇപ്പൊ കാണുന്നില്ലല്ലോ.
ഇപ്പൊ പോയിട്ടല്ലോ.
ഇപ്പൊ പോയി.
ഓക്കെ.
അതെ സർ, ഇപ്പം പോയതാ.
ഇപ്പൊ വിൻഡോ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? എന്റെ ഡെസ്ക്ടോപ്പ് കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? Okay. Now this is how you have to do it. Now next thing is okay, I'll close Spectra all EP2. Now you can see that if you take a particular temperature, let us say if you take this temperature -42, and what about this? I put it as 3, apply, okay. -3 has a peak around -42 has a peak. I wanted to see where the peak is. Now you take data display, you can see that it is exit 4.96. 4.96 is the frequency maximum. So you can even plot the Arrhenius diagram by simply, okay, the origin has gone, okay, I don't know, MATLAB, okay. Now, by simply collecting the data from here, also you can draw approximate Arrhenius diagram. PWD, PD, dash, PD, BC, tab, okay, dir, CD, program, dir, plot, plots, legend, children, string, something, okay, some error messages, that we can correct it, no problem. Now, you should have a preliminary understanding that every point, this is representing a temperature. If that temperature is nothing but, if you go to that temperature, the peak is representing these points and these points. So this is the peak corresponding to the secondary process. Secondary process, sometimes situations like this, I'll put with 5, 4 with a red color. You will not have very easy access to the peak because there is a peak, but we are not sure where it is exactly. But if you fit it, you can easily get it where the peak is. Now, you can see one more thing. Now, if I have a system like this, let us say it is 4. It is going to -6 around the 4.5. Now 4.5 means 4.5. If it is 4.5, 4.5, this is 1000 by T. So 1000 divided by this is the Kelvin. Now this minus 273.15. So minus 50 is approximately TG. Approximately. It should not be -6. It is something around the 2.95 or something. But for the time being, we are only taking a rough estimate. It is -50 degree, -50.9 degrees in TG. Now, another system has somewhere here. One other system is having something like this, alpha process. So, there 3 or 4 systems having different TGs and different curvatures for the alpha process. So, to have a normalized understanding, what we will be doing is we divide the temperature by Tg, or 1000 by T. If I multiply by Tg by 1000, so Tg by 1000 means this 1000 will be gone out. So Tg by T would be on the x-axis. Tg by T on the x-axis means when T is equal to Tg, last transition temperature, it would be x-axis would be 1. And very high temperature, T is very high, then Tg by T means it is almost 0. So you have a graph on the x-axis between 0 to 1. On the y-axis, we do like this only, but only thing we flip it. So we flip it by 1 by 2 pi f max. So that is the relaxation time. So what is the definition of glass transition in relaxation time? Relaxation time when it reaches 100 seconds is the glass transition temperature. Now you fit it with a Nadini's diagram, then VFT, then you flip it and normalize it to TG, then you will get some more understanding. I'll go to a program and I'll tell you what it does. So now you can see that VFT data generation. Afzal was asking what is this program all about. Now if you go to this program, you will see that there are some parameters. If you fit the alpha process, 2-3 information had to be there. Number one, where it touches the y-axis when x is equal to 0. That is the parameter 1. Parameter 1 means when x is equal to 0, where it touches the y-axis. Now second information, since it is a curvature, it started from here and go vertically down at some temperature. So that is called P3. P3 is the temperature at which, because this x-axis is temperature in 1000 by T, reciprocal of the absolute temperature multiplied by 1000. You may ask why it is. Because if it is 1 by T, it will be something like 100 degree, 100 Kelvin. 1 by 100 is 0.001. So that is not a meaningful to visualization. So if it is between 0 to 10 or 0 to 5 or something like that, that would be more visually appealing. That is why we multiplied by 1000. Now on the y-axis, if we multiply log Fm, Fmax, convert it into tau. Tau can be generated by 1 by 2 pi Fmax. Now log, if you take minus log and you can 1 by 2 pi again if you take, then it will be F number you have to reduce. So here you can see that P1 is where it is touching x-axis. P3 is where it is vertically going down. Now it can go like a straight line or it can go with a very something like a more curvature behavior. So that all represented by P2. Now here, if I run this program, change folder. If I run this program, what I'll get is, I'll show you with this and TFM T tau. So it will tell us some parameters. I close this. I run this. So, okay, this has completed TFMA. So you can see that a data has been generated. We will go and see what it is by plotting a origin state. Okay, here where it is. Let us see where it is. Desktop VFT data generation text TFMA plot line. Now you can see that this is the curvature. This is the fitted line, for example. This is the fitted line. Now, if you go to the data, TFMA, TTO-AF, open. Now you can see here just the opposite, 1 by 2 pi f. So that is what here. Now third data is TFMA normalized. TFM, TTO. Yeah. So using these parameters, it would be having a behavior like this. We go up to 100 seconds. Then you can see that it is starting from 0 all the way up to 1. Now we will grid line opposite, horizontal opposite F line. Now you can see that if you take 1, now it is going up to y-axis. It is 1 only. Okay. Now fragility is nothing but the slope of the line at this point. If you take if you magnify this region and try to find the slope. Now there are certain graphs, it will be going like this. Another one would be going like this. So here the slope is more, slope is less. So these systems are called strong systems, and fragile systems have, it will be slowly going, then around the PZ it is going very sharp. That is what the signatures of a fragile system. And if it is a strong system, it will be behaving like this, going starting from here. Slope will not be, slope would be lesser because it is starting from here, so that it will be having minimum slope. But here it is more trying to go along the x-axis, parallel to x-axis. All of a sudden it is going. So in that case, slope at 1 would be slope at 1 when x is equal to 1 and corresponding to y is equal to 2. It would be having more slope. That is what the term fragility. Now, once you have the parameter, you can plot it. You can generate the fitting data using a Fortran program or a MATLAB program or a Mathematica program. Now, I think we can stop here now. Now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Tomorrow also I will take.
ഇപ്പൊ സ്ലോപ്പ് പറഞ്ഞ സാറേ 1 മാത്രമേ സ്ലോപ്പ് എടുക്കുള്ളൂ നമ്മള്.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
സ്ലോപ്പ് അറ്റ് ദ പോയിന്റ് 1 എന്നാണോ ഫെസിലിറ്റി ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്?
എന്താണ്?
സ്ലോപ്പ് അറ്റ് ദ പോയിന്റ് 1 എന്നാണോ?
അല്ല, അത് ഇതാ ഈ ഗ്രാഫിൽ നോക്കിയാൽ പോരെ. 1 തന്നെയല്ലേ എടുക്കുക. കാരണം
അല്ല, അത് കർവിന്റെ ഓരോ പോയിന്റിലും സ്ലോപ്പ് വേരി ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലേ?
വേരി ചെയ്യും. നമ്മളുടെ ഡെഫിനിഷൻ അതല്ലല്ലോ. Fragility definition is that dy by dx that x-axis Tg by T. When T is equal to Tg, T is equal to Tg x-axis 1 ആവുമല്ലോ. ഇവിടെ നമ്മളിവിടെ 1000 by T ആയിരുന്നു നേരത്തെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. 1000 by T ആയിരുന്നു ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. ആ 1000 by T നെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു വെച്ചാൽ 1000 കൊണ്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തു. പിന്നെ ന്യൂമറേറ്ററിൽ Tg നെ കൊണ്ട് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തു. അപ്പൊ Tg by T ആണ് ഉണ്ടാവുക. അതിൽ ഏതാ വേരി ചെയ്യുന്നത്? Tg is a constant, T is a variable. When T becomes Tg, x-axis becomes 1. T ആണ് ഡിനോമിനേറ്ററിൽ. അപ്പൊ T വെരി ഹൈ ആവുമ്പോ എന്തുണ്ടാവും? ഇൻഫൈനൈറ്റ് ആവുമ്പോൾ Tg by T would be 0. പോയിന്റ് ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പൊ ഫ്രജൈലിറ്റി ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഈ പോയിന്റിലാണ്. When
T equal to Tg.
T is equal to Tg. Tg-ലെത്തുമ്പോൾ ഇത് 1 അല്ലേ വരിക. Tg is defined, y-axis would be 100. 100 is a log, natural log would be 2. അപ്പൊ അവിടെയുള്ള സ്ലോപ്പ് ആണ് നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത്. Our strong systems would be having almost straight line behavior. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്ലോപ്പ് almost same ആയിരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ fragile system അങ്ങനെയല്ല. It will initially be going approximately parallel to x-axis, or the slope would be lesser. Then all of a sudden, around the glass transition temperature, slope increases, and that is the fragility. And fragility can vary between 25 to 200. And the most fragile system I have seen is one of the fragile systems is ethyl benzene. It is very difficult to crystallize. Fragile systems will generally crystallize very quickly. Strong systems will be very slow, very stable glass former. Like crystallization is very small. So the window glasses are very strong glasses, and most of the organic glasses, pharmaceuticals, they are more tendency to crystallize. That is why you can't preserve amorphous pharmaceuticals for a long time. By the time you keep it for 2-3 days, it will crystallize. Any doubt so far about the discussion, or we will continue tomorrow? One more class. Then after that class, I presume that you must have an idea how to read a paper.
Hello, sir.
Comprehend it. Come on, finish.
പിന്നെ അവിടെ VFT
എന്താണ്? കേൾക്കുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. ബിനീഷ് പറയൂ. നോക്കട്ടെ ആരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്. ആഷിഫ, കമോൺ. ആഷിഫ പ്രസന്റ് അല്ല.
ആണ് സർ, പ്രസന്റ് ആണ്.
ഇനി നിങ്ങളുടെ വിൻഡോ തുറന്നു, നിങ്ങളെ കാണാം. ആരൊക്കെ എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാമോ? പറഞ്ഞാണോ? Stop recording.